So once again, if you have added these timeline indicators, timeline markers, you might have to re-import that timeline into the other one. It's pretty easy if you select the old one and you click and drag with the Alt key, then you can automatically replace what was there, and you should now see those markers. And those markers are important because you can use those to help you figure out what sections need to be rendered. Such as the very first section that we might want to render is just the opening menu by itself. And we're going to render the transition as it comes in and the whole looping point. So I know that it loops until frame 30. So I'm going to go to frame 30, and I held down the Shift key so it automatically snapped to it. And now I can press the N key to make sure that it's just that section that I want to render. Now, before we get to rendering, of course, we should do some other cleanup, such as right now I have Comp 1 and Comp 2, which are not great names. So to change these names, just click on them, hit the Enter key, and of course, this is going to be the DVD anims, and that's just that timeline. Comp 2 is the output, so I'm going to call it DVD anims output, just so we know that that's actually going to be what we render. So we need to make sure, though, of course, that we are on the output, that's the 720 by 480, the correct aspect ratio for what we're going to be outputting. Now, of course, any animation that we do, and I'm just going to do a very quick animation of that text coming in. So first thing that I have is main menu. I'm going to create a position point for this, and then go back to the beginning and just move it straight over to the left, and then click on that last keyframe and give it a give it a keyframe with F9 so we have easing. And then let's see, we have the other items as well. If I need these three items to animate in, I can select all three, hit positions, click on the position keyframes, and all three of them will be given keyframes at the same time, which is really cool. And then I can go back a little bit and give them keyframes that start off. Now the cool thing about this is that I've created all those keyframes all at once. I can go back, and remember, it's always good to make your keyframes from the end of your animation to the beginning of your animation. So I'm going to select these different keyframes if I can. My render is going a little slow here. When it does the screen recording, it slows down sometimes. Anyway, I'm going to take those, and I'm actually going to adjust them back just a little bit, make them a little bit shorter. And that way I can stagger these. Maybe if I click off one, I can click back on these and move them forward just a little bit. That way they don't happen exactly at the same speed or at the same time. They're happening at the same speed because I've created all the keyframes together, but the animations are actually happening at a slightly different time. And you can actually see these numbers a little bit more accurately if you go to the right thing. So I'm going to move my recording window up just a little bit. I'm going to go over to this last little button, expand or collapse that, and you'll see that I can change this so that it comes in at 2 seconds, and I have this come in at 1 second. That way, I have these properly staggered. Now when I watch the animation, and I might change this down to like 1/4 of the resolution real quick just to make it render really quickly. You'll hopefully see that this comes in pretty quick. It's slow because of the recording right now, but it would animate pretty quick. That would come in, and that would give me what I need to render. So now that I am about ready to render, I'm going to make a new tutorial where I'll actually go through the render settings, because you can actually render to your MPEG 2 right from your DVDs, or right from After Effects.